RuPaul's Drag Race is an American reality show airing on VH1 in which 14 drag queens compete for the title of America's Next Drag Superstar and a $100,000 cash prize. Hosted by RuPaul Charles, the show is currently on its 10th season. For the uninitiated, drag is an acronym meaning dressed, resembling a girl. These contestants are men that wear elaborate costume and makeup to create a female illusion. These queens are given makeup, comedy, and sewing challenges, where the best are on the top and the worst on the bottom. Before being judged on their challenges, the queens must prepare a themed runway look. All of their efforts come into play while being judged by the panel. The two bottom queens must then lip-sync for their lives. The fiercest lip-syncer shantays and stays, while the other has to sashay away. RuPaul's Drag Race and drag culture have a very unique language. In this video, we'll have a kiki and look at stage names as puns and find out what's the tea with the incredible use of puns by the judges on the runway. Before analyzing comments on the Punway, let's ask ourselves, what is a pun? A pun is a form of wordplay used with a specific or pragmatic effect in mind. They are classified as follows: homophonous, or words having similar sounds but different spellings; homographic, different sounds but identical spellings; and homonymic, with words having identical sounds and spellings. The well-known pun, "you can tune a guitar, but you can't tune a fish," unless of course it's a bass, has both homophony in the first statement with to tune and tuna, while the second statement is homographic. Bass is a type of guitar, and bass a type of fish. Puns often commonly arise in the use of polysemy, in which a word may have multiple related meanings. Think of the noun bear and the verb to bear. Puns can be intentional or accidental. The more blatant and contrived variety of pun is homonymic, occurring more often in writing. First, we'll see some examples of stage names as puns. Drag queens use stage names or pseudonyms that are often eye-catching and punny in nature. A boy name is a queen's real name, while a drag name describes a character. Drag queens may also share last names to indicate that they are from a certain house of drag. A drag mother is a queen who takes another under her wing, teaching her how to sew, do makeup, and so on. As with most puns, a quippy name is usually homophonic. First, we have me, I'm first. Can you guess the meaning? Me, I'm first. Or, I'm on the top. Second, we have pheromone. Does it sound similar to a word you know? This one's pretty easy. Pheromone. Next, we have the controversial queen Sharon Needles. On the show, she stated that she truly wanted an offensive name, alluding to the act of sharing needles. Staying within the risque, we have penetration. Homophonous with penetration. One of the only foreign-born contestants, Courtney Act, hails from Australia. In my Midwestern accent, we don't hear a pun. Applying an Australian accent, Courtney Act, we start to hear new meaning. Caught in the act. Interestingly, if you say caught in the act quick enough, you'll stop to hear the pun. Try it. Let's take a look at some examples of homophonic puns on the show.
Yua Hamasaki.
Pika Blue.
Monet Exchange.
Red for Phil.
Monique Hart.
You know what they say about the weather on Mars.
What?
You just can't plan it.
She's a vision. No, I'm sorry, a visor.
Are you advising her?
I wouldn't advise it.
Now she's off to call her spiritual advisor.
First, we have peekaboo, replacing the sound from boo in peekaboo to create a cheeky, playful pun. I think they could have played off Yua's name and said Blua Hamasaki. Maybe a missed opportunity. Second, red for filth. To read someone is to judge them. In this pun, the judge relied on the past tense pronunciation of to read, red, commenting on her red jumpsuit. For filth is an added intensifier indicating that the queen is really being judged harshly on her look. The third clip was one of my favorite examples. This was a well thought out pun. You know what they say about the weather on Mars? You just can't plan it. Do you hear the homophony? Planet sounds just like plan it. Finally, we have a compound pun. Blair, the contestant, made her outfit entirely out of car visors. The judges really had a lot of fun with this one. A compounded pun is one in which multiple puns exist within a statement. I'm sure you hear the homophony with words like advising, advise, and advisor. Next up, homonymic or polysemous puns.
First up, Asia O'Hara.
Ruffles have ridges. Bet you can't have just one.
I'd like to try.
The vixen.
She's really used her noodle on this one.
Yes.
Eureka!
Oh, I didn't know Eureka was from the hood.
Miss Cracker.
I can see her eggs. She's ovulating.
Well, she just got laid.
Ruffles have ridges. I bet you just can't have one. In this pun, the judge is referring to the Ruffles brand chip and calling on the polysemous nature with regard to the ruffles on the contestant's dress. The vixen's pool noodle outfit was quite a feat. She really had to use her noodle, be it a pool flotation device or her own intelligence. Eureka's icy winter look with hood led the judges to compare the polysemous hood of a garment with a hood or impoverished neighborhood. And finally, Miss Cracker's feather look with nest headpiece was open to all sorts of avian puns. She simply is the nest. I'll leave you to figure out the blue nature of this pun. Breaking down the 216 comments made by the judges on the runway during the first 4 episodes of Season 10, we see that 29% were polysemous or homonymic, 33% were homophonic, while 38% were general statements or non-puns. 8% of statements were idiomatic phrases, 29% were referential to other media, such as "the outfit reminds me of Paris is Burning," a popular drag film. And finally, 61% of statements classified as other gave general opinion, such as "I like the outfit," "she worked really hard on it," etc. 62% of the comments were punny in nature, showing the overwhelming use of pun and how it's really become part of the culture on the show. I didn't find any instances of homographic pun. As a reminder, a homographic pun is one in which a word is spelled the same but pronounced differently. This type of pun is rare in speech, mostly seen in writing, and even rarer in casual conversation. How often do you use puns? Are you able to recall a time in which a pun stood out to you in conversation? Do you have a particularly punny friend? Thank you for watching my video. I hope you learned something about puns and drag culture. We truly are living in a golden age of drag. It's so great to see LGBT media being recepted so well. I hope you learned something about puns and drag culture. Now sashay away.
You better work.